Many days have passed since we first took steps on this journey together. In NFT time, we have completed multiple eras of existence spanning from the Genesis Age, the Iron Age, the Dark Ages, and now find ourselves in the post-apocalyptic age in which the surviving holders have become cannibals and savages, searching in the rubble for any semblance of optimism that had previously been paraded in front of us like a carrot on a stick. While we have all but confirmed the passing of Agora, there remains the hope and spirit of Pitbull Poker Tour's finest and only realized utility, the community. While the NFT project PPT has finally lost vital signs, the community, which was the true lifeblood of the project, has yet to meet its maker. This would not be surprising to anyone who paid attention to some of the individuals that made up the core of PPT culture. What can be taken away from the experience we shared here, in my opinion as a PPT historian and rug enabler, is the following. When it comes to the game of poker, not a single project in the space will match the types of victories we bore witness to at the hands of our own. The legacy of PPT related to the Devil's Poker includes moments which define greatness and will remain lifelong achievements for those who stood atop the mountain in our many conquests. There is zero doubt that PPT holders will continue to rise to the highest marks the game has to offer, despite being connected through a project which chose to seek the darkest depths known to Web3. Another notch in our belt as a PPT community is the fact that we so openly engaged in conversation, which was downright frightening to the NPC world. Words exchanged in this Discord would not only cancel a man, but could have them put onto a watch list or targeted for FEMA camps in the near IRL future. This combination of skill, intellect, and boldness infused into the culture of PPT is what separates our rug from the rugs of any of the thousands of communities in the space. The experience, which we shared together, deserves recognition, and while the Wentenil is no longer taking effect and Agora is gone, I can say personally that the lasting friendships forged through our shared time in PPT will be what truly determines the destiny of what was created here.
We were supposed to get through the month of February on last video, but alas, some things just can't be avoided. On February 4th, Agora made an announcement talking about rescheduling the release date of Pitbull Poker Tour. The reason for this delay was an external developer failing to fulfill the task assigned to him. In the end, the burning functionality was never implemented. He worked around it and distributed the tokens manually without burning the pixels. Sometimes technology makes life easier, while other times it makes life harder. This was another frequent theme of the PPT, by the way. Developers working for Agora not doing what they were supposed to do. Agora also talked about AMAs that he would hold. There's one recording I know of, and I'll share some snippets from that once we get to it. This is a side note, but I remember one Discord call where people were talking about wanting 7 bitches for their pitbulls. In the end, all of that was for nothing because he didn't implement that mechanic that would limit the amount of bitches you could get. The call lasted for 4 hours or more. That was a highlight of the early days. Anyways, besides the Ask Me Anything, he talks about compensating people after Mint for helping him with marketing. I'll talk about this hefty compensation talk later on this video. The last thing he talked about on this announcement was this other collection called Bad Bitches Billiards Club. The Pitbulls haven't even been released yet, and he's already talking about another collection. I do get that he is doing marketing for the Pitbulls, and that's why he is talking about all of these utilities and whatnot, but damn. Talk about spreading yourself too thin. It should be unsurprising for you, but the bitches was another colossal failure. He talked about how the bitches were an airdrop that would allow you to breed your Pitbulls to get baby bullies. This guy was imagining a whole universe of NFT projects to rug pull people with. In retrospect, I'm starting to think he was legitimately insane. After talking about bitches, pimping and mating, he ends the announcement. February 5th, he talks about an AMA he is postponing and a new feature of PPT. A gated content platform. Think about YouTube, but having to own a certain key to be able to access it. This idea was never mentioned again, I believe. In retrospect, seeing the prices he was going to charge to partner with different projects, I can't help but think to myself that this guy was either completely insane and had no idea what he was talking about, or that he was a scammer and the PPT was meant to be a rug pull from the very start. Look at how much he planned to charge other projects to have access to his platform. One Solana at the time was worth $100. To me, it sounds like this thing, even if he got to implement, it would be another money sink. The next day, on February 6th, he talked about an auction for a 1 out of 1 NFT. This is how it looked like. On February 7th, he makes an update talking about pixel burning, some mechanic that was never implemented because they couldn't get it to work in time. He also mentioned the card room and a poker tournament, stating, "Tomorrow we will be hosting a free poker tournament tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will personally be out for most of the day visiting family as I'm about to be moving cross-country, which is why it will be a little later tomorrow, so my apologies." One thing that the early PPT got right were the tournaments. They were a lot of fun and were very enjoyable to be a part of. February 7th comes around and Agora makes a post about this other project called Lionshare Poker Academy hosting an Ask Me Anything. Fun fact, that's how I discovered the PPT. Anyways, the announcement he makes the next day is also talking about Lionshare. He talks about the 1 of 1 NFT auction. This period of time in the history of the PPT was littered with white noise. February 10th, he gives people a warning not to mess with random unknown tokens/NFTs. February 11th, giving people a reminder of the 1 of 1 auction and an update related to the burned site, which was never implemented or used by anyone. On the 12th, he apologizes for something and talks about that fabled burned site. He talks about sending some tokens and some tournament prizes. He talks about that again. And finishes his announcements for the day by explaining how you can claim your free pitbulls. On the 13th, he talks about an issue with the whitelist token, an airdrop of the new whitelist tokens, some clarification related to the number of tokens people might have, and at 4:15 p.m. he announces to the world that the whitelist mint of Pitbull Poker Tour is going live. Right now we are looking at this with cynicism, but at the time it felt like we were part of something great. This is me, the foolish preacher, talking about announcements while Agora fears his girlfriend leaving him. Allegedly she did leave him and went back to New York State after living in the hot Vegas streets being pimped by Agora to make ends meet. MK is making a bit of a cameo in this shot. People were happy overall and excited for the future. As you may have already noticed, I'm making this story as I go, and I've realized that mentioning every single announcement that was made by Agora is silly. I will only focus on the relevant ones for the remainder of the series. The date is February 18th, and Agora said, "I would like to just make some update announcements prior to going to bed so everyone knows what to expect moving forward. Bad Bitch Billiards Club Breeding. The artwork is nearly complete, and the random drawings/airdrops for the collection will go out in less than 2 weeks. Once airdropped, the collection will already be listed on Magic Eden and ready for trade, and the Love Shack, Stake to Breed, site is currently being built. Side note, he did release the bitches, but breeding was never implemented. Card Room was never released, so whatever he says about it is irrelevant. Casino/licensing. I had a long call this evening which will continue tomorrow morning, but we have some major updates as far as the progress on our gaming license as well as casino implementation. The licensing provider who I've been in communication with has notified me that they are willing to provide us a turnkey casino option with the ability to fully redevelop it ourselves, allowing us to have near-instant casino playability immediately following licensing. This is something that, while I wasn't expecting, comes as a huge relief and is expected to greatly expedite the release of our casino. Tomorrow I am going to be going over things with a legal team in order to assess the best course of action as far as which license to go with, and I will be sure to announce the updates on that in real time. Brothers, it blows my mind a little bit how incompetent Agora was. Every single feature he talked about was a failure in one way or another. When it comes to the casino, yes, we did get a functional casino, but some guy used an exploit, got all of the money the casino had and walked away. The only reason I know this is because MK or DMC told me about it. This is insider information, but when Frank did some digging and asked Agora about the casino wallet being empty, he replied to him by saying this: "It's a different wallet. The house wallet will now only receive profits, so anything reflected in the house wallet from now on is 100% profits, as house-backed funds are held in a third-party wallet by HRHC." Frank asks, "So are we the house, or is HRHC? Or sharing ownership?" And Agora replies, "They're taking care of the house wallet through a new system they've put in place. It makes it so even if the bank goes too low for us to technically profit, We don't have to worry about it since it's a pooled house wallet, therefore we're making profit on every bet, and we can guarantee profits for payout on a regular basis. Before, the casino would dip underneath the house funds, therefore leaving a negative profit for holders, whereas now we retain profits consistently, therefore guaranteeing consistent payouts. The guy had a silver tongue. What actually happened was that the house wallet got drained and he didn't even tell the community about this. He gave the casino away to another project. Let's see what else did he say on that big announcement. He's talking about the sniper tools we never got. I went into a deep dive related to this on last video. Airdrops were a thing and we got bluff according to the amounts stated by Agora, but the only reason why we got that is because Agora didn't take care of that himself. He paid some project to take care of that, and that's why it worked. On February 21st, Agora made an announcement and talked about him moving from New York to California. He did move and gave MK and DMC $500. That's the only money they made from PPT, while Flag, who never did anything for the community, allegedly got 50% of royalties. I take that back, he did do something for the community. He created this channel where you were supposed to put heart emojis on each day. On the other hand, DMC and MK, who played a big role in shaping the culture of PPT, weren't properly compensated. DMC stepped up and paid tournament prizes that were owed to the community members, to the tune of $1,200, and you can bet the barn that Agora didn't pay him back nor ever will. What else? Agora mentioned the Love Shack / Bad Bitches, the card room, the casino, bluff, and a charity donation. A day later he said this: Casino. Yet again, I've been in non-stop calls / meetings today with the licensors as well as designer for Pitbull redesign, and we have our primary / final meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This will likely be a pretty long meeting, but this is where we will be likely submitting our application, and I would like to share with everyone the decision I have came to after not only speaking with them, but also after discussing with certain team members. We will be acquiring a Curacao gaming license first and foremost, as it is only about a 4 to 6 week ETA on approval, followed by immediate casino access. Here are a few pros and cons to the Curacao license compared to Malta. Curacao. Pros: extremely quick. One license covers all forms of gambling, cheaper with only a 2% annual income tax. Cons: not accepted in certain major jurisdictions such as EU, requires licensing to operate in each different jurisdiction, which leads to many lack of acceptances. Low scrutiny equals bad look. So why have I chosen the Curacao license? Well, it is actually part of a larger picture plan. I would much prefer a Malta license, though it will cost us 2-3x more dollar as well as take much longer to get approved, 6 months plus. So I've constructed a plan that I think will make everyone not only satisfied, but rewarded as a holder. Stage 1: get licensed quickly with Curacao and immediately start generating revenue, which 90% of profits will be donated to holders of the NFT as a donation, and not a financial incentive. Stage 2: we will allow other projects approved at our discretion to pay us to share our license with them in order to fast-track their casino's licensing. This will act as a main source of funding for our final stage. Stage 3: use proceeds from license share program plus casino profits to fund the Malta license while allowing us to generate casino revenue during the entire Malta application process. This means we can have a casino, continue to earn from it, and also migrate to the Malta license without being casino-less for 6+ months, and in my opinion is the best route to go. Yeah, this sure is a lot of talk, but we never even got that gambling license. One big event that happened on February was Agora's health taking a turn for the worst. He was coughing up blood and got convinced into getting checked at the hospital. You might think this was bullshit, and a way for him to leave everyone by pretending to have died, but he did post some x-rays related to this. On February 26th he said, "Some of you already know, but yesterday a doctor's visit ended in me being rushed to the hospital by ambulance, which is why I wasn't active last night / this morning. To make a long story short, they found blood clots in my lungs, resulting in my left lung being partially dead now. They're saying this is a result of me spending 18 hours a day at my computer with limited / no movement, which I now know I need to start mixing in exercise / movement in these non-stop development sessions if I want to survive. Additionally, to the people bitching and fudding because I wasn't able to send your free prize last night because I was in the ER without access to my computer, You will get your prizes today. I am going to post a more thorough update today once I get my medication. Very urgent. But I am back, safe and ready to shit on these paper hands. And that's how the month of February ended in the history of PPT. Out of all the things he stated and promised, what was achieved? He did release the Pitbull Poker Tour collection. He also released Bluff, and that's pretty much it for that month. Well, he also did those raffles.